Okay, in this video, I will explain to you on how to find I1 and I2 using mesh analysis on this AC steady state circuit. So our goal here is to find out I1 and I2. Find I1 and I2. Okay, and we need to use mesh analysis. But first thing first, if we have an AC circuit, the first step that we need to do is to convert all the components into phasor. But then we are already given the circuit here in phasor. We have 10 angle 0, 15 angle 90, 20 angle 0, J5, 3 ohm, and minus J4. We are already get this in phasor. So we have done this by the problem. Okay, and then the second step will be label all the loops or the mesh. So we need to label all the loops. Okay, let's see what can we do from here and also extract some information there. Okay, here we will have this loop here. And also we have this loop here. However, this loop here is the same as I1. Why? Because I1 is the current that passed through this component here, 10 angle 0 and J5. So that is equal to I1 here. So I just name this loop I1. So I don't need an additional step to find out I1. And here I2 also the current that passed through this capacitor and voltage source. So this is also I2. Right? So we have labeled all the loops and also extract some information from the circuit. And then what can we do next? We do KVL for all the loops. So the third step will be do KVL for each loop. Okay, and we have loop I1 and loop I2. First, maybe let's do KVL at loop I1. Let's do exactly that, KVL at loop I1. Okay, KVL said that the sum of the voltage in a loop will equal to 0. Let's see what can we get from here. Here the current is looping clockwise here, and from here the current goes from the negative terminal. So we will have negative sign, and then the value of this voltage source is 10 angle 0. So I will have 10 angle 0, or I can just write it as 10. And then let's move on to this one. So we will have plus J5. So we will have J5, but J5 is an impedance. To get voltage from impedance, we multiply it by the current. The only current that passed through it is I1. So I will have I1 here. And then what else? Okay, we move on to this 3 ohm resistor. So we will have plus 3, but here we have two current, I1 going down and I2 going up. But here we are working on I1, so I will write I1 first. But then I2 flowing to the opposite direction, so I will have minus I2. Good. And then the final component for these loops here, I will have this voltage source and the current flowing from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. So I will have positive sign. And then the value will be 15 angle 90 degrees. 15 angle 90 degrees. Okay, and I think all of that will equal to 0. Good. Now we will have 3 plus J5 I1, right? So I will have 3 plus J5 I1, and then for the I2, I think I will have minus 3 I2. Minus 3 I2. And then that will equal to, and let's move this 10 to the right hand side. So I will have 10 minus 15 angle 90 degrees. Okay, and I think that is all that we can do for loop I1. So let's have this as equation number 1. Good. Now let's move on to this loop here on loop I2. We will need to do KVL at loop I2. Okay, KVL said that the sum of the voltage in a loop will equal to 0. Good. Let's start from this voltage source here. The current here is flowing clockwise. So the current here is going from the negative terminal to positive terminal. So I will have minus. And the value is 15 angle 90 degrees. So I will have minus 15 angle 90 degrees. Okay, move on to this 3 ohm. So I will have plus 3 ohm. But then this is a resistance. To get voltage, we need to multiply it by the current. But there are two currents, I2 and I1. But now we are working on I2. So I2 came first. But then I1 is flowing to the opposite direction. I2 is going up, I1 is going down. So I will have I2 minus I1. Good. Then let's move on to this capacitor here. And I will have minus J4. So we will have plus minus J4. Or we can just write it minus J4. And the only current that pass through it is I2, right? So I will have minus J4 I2. And the last component is this voltage source. And the current is flowing from the positive terminal. So I will have positive sign. And then I will have 20 angle 0. Or I can just write it as 20. Good. And all of that will equal to 0. Okay. And here, I think I1 only comes from this term here. So we will have minus 3I1. And then what else? I will have 3 minus J4. So I will have plus 3 minus J4 for I2. Okay, and that will equal to, and I will have 15 angle 90 degrees minus 20. Good, this is equation number 2. So now we have equation number 1, and now we have equation number 2. We have two equations and two variables. So we need to solve the resulting equation. Solve the equation. But then that is hard, right? Why? Because that is complex numbers. So I think I will use calculator to help us. And I will tell you how to use our calculator. Okay, let's clean up the board and see what can we do here. Okay, now we have two equations and two variables. Let's rewrite that on the matrix form. So I will have a very big matrix here. And let's rewrite the coefficient. So I will have 3 plus J5. And then I will have minus 3 here. Okay, and then I will have minus 3 here. And here I will have 3 minus J4. Okay. Then what else? We can take out I1 and I2 here as a vector. So we will have I1 and then I2. Okay, and then on the right hand side, we will have this one here, 10 minus 15 angle 90 degrees. And then I will have 15 angle 90 degrees minus 20. Oh, I think we will have a very big brackets there, not small one. So this is the matrix form of this equation. Okay, and then let's remember the Cramer's method. So let's remember if we have Cramer's rule. So if we have a matrix, A, B, C, D multiplied by the resulting vector, in this case I1 and I2, and that will result in E and F. We can find out I1 and I2 using direct formula. So I will have I1 is equal to, we replace this AC column with EF here. So we will have EF and then BD here. And then it is divided by the determinant of ABCD. So we will have ABCD. Or in the multiplication form, I will have ED minus BF divided by AD minus BC. Okay, and then what else? We can get I2. How? By replacing this BD column with EF. So we will have AC here, and then this one will be BD. And then the denominator is still ABCD. So we will have ABCD. Good. And that will equal to, I think I will have, oh no, this is BD. BD is replaced by EF, right? BD is replaced by EF. EF. So I will have this one. This is A. AF minus CE. AF minus CE. And then divided by AD minus BC. Good. Now, how can we do calculating that complex numbers? Okay, let's see here. Let's name this here as A, and then this one will be B, this one will be C, this one will be D, this one will be E, and this one will be F. Okay, maybe let's label all that. Maybe let's use green here. So I will have this A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay, let's pull out our calculator and plug in A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, let's do that. Let's set up our calculator as complex number. So this setup, and then number 2. And then we will have 3 plus J5. So I will have 3 plus 5I. So let's store this. Shift store this button here, and we will have this A here. So we save this 3 plus 5I as A. Okay, and then we will need to save B, which is minus 3. And then shift store, and we save it as B. Good. And then we will have another minus 3. So we will store it as C. So I will have shift store C. And then I will have D. So we will have 3 minus J4, or 3 minus 4I. Let's store that as D. Good. We have stored A, B, C, and D. Now let's store E and F. We will have 10 minus 15. And then the angle will be 90 degrees. Good. And then let's store it. Shift store as E. So we'll have this. Good. And then let's store F here. I will have 15. And then the angle will be 90. And then minus 20. And let's store this as F. Shift store F. Good. And we have saved A, B, C, D, E, and F. We can just calculate I1 from here. Let's prepare the fraction. Let's recall all of them. So I will have recall E, and then recall D, minus recall B, recall F. Good. And then it is divided by recall A, recall D, minus recall B, recall C. And we will have the value of I1 here. To see that, we can use SD button here. And so we will have that as the Cartesian plane form. But usually for current, we need to use polar form. So we shift it and then get the complex number here, and we have number 3 here. And then we have the value of I1. So I1 is 4.8948. Yeah, okay. 4. So we will have I1 that will equal to 4.870, I think. Yeah. And then the angle will be minus 164. And then what is the decimal place? We have 57 degrees. Okay, and the unit will be in ampere. Good. And this is I1. And I think that is the final value for I1. And we still need to find out the value of I2. What is I2? Again, we can just plug this into calculator, right? So let's do exactly that. So we will have to recall A, recall F, minus recall C, recall E. Then it is divided by recall A, recall D, and then minus recall B, and then recall C. Okay, and this is the Cartesian form. We need the polar form. So shift number 2 and then number 3. Okay, so I will have 7.170. Okay, 7.170. And then what is the angle? Minus 144.93. Minus 144.93 degrees, and the unit will be in ampere. And let's highlight this, as this is the final answer of I2. Okay, hopefully I did not make any mistakes in my calculation, because this is a long way calculation. Okay, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.